Your brain can only process less than 1 megabyte of data, cryptocurrency information a day. Just think about it. Less than 1 megabyte of data, right? So what does that mean and what does that equal to? That 0.13 megabyte, like close to 10% of 1 megabyte of cryptocurrency information that your brain can process, it is about 1,300 Twitter/X posts, or it could be 1,300 of community messages such as Discord or Telegram, right? Or that could be 26 A4 pages. So it's either just one of those three options. And it is only if we assume that you can purely focus for straight 6 hours a day. And we are talking about the study grade focus, when you really concentrated and focused on the task, right? As you can see, that this is like a very small amount. And you may have a question, how much of the data is actually there? How much of the data you are exposed to during the day, scrolling through X feed, looking at the Discord or Telegram messages, or watching YouTube and all of this sort of stuff. So that is in between 9,000 to 18,000 megabytes a day, which is 9 gigabytes to 18 gigabytes a day. And you can only process that small amount, right? That's 10% of 1 megabyte. So that gives you the efficiency of 0.01% of daily information that you can process. Well, do you think it's a lot? I don't think it is a lot. I think it's very, very small amount. And that's the problem. That's the problem, because you make your information based on very small sample of the data, right? What is that causing? And when you make that information on that very small sample of the data, on the top of that, you forget like another 90% next day. So you retain like a very, very small amount of information. And what sort of problem is that causing? Well, it is causing a lot, like a FOMO anxiety for 80% of people. Information paralysis. As you probably know, the crypto information overload is quite real, and this is bothering about 65% of investors. On the top of that, there is also regret and trauma, technical confusion of what each project is doing, how is this investment performing. And you see like a different information from different sources, and you're not capable to confirm that or review who says what and if this is actually correct, or if it's just some sort of influential action that someone is presenting you, because there is a bias, and it's not a good advice, because it's a biased advice, and this is not good advice, right? It's not impartial advice. It's not impartial advice that may be also provided for you, and it's not ethical advice as well. So you can be exposed to very small sample of actually biased information, impartial information, where someone is being sponsored or there is some sort of action. So in this date of age, when we use the AI, the data is the edge, right? So when you use just ChatGPT or any other large language model, it is pretty much trained on like a very generic and basic information of books and people conversations. It's not very specific to the cryptocurrency investment or any on-chain, off-chain, or even social metrics. It is just giving you what that may browse out of the internet, just top high-level information that someone put over there online. It's not actually processing any data, it's not doing any transformation, machine learning, and any sort of capability that can give you some sort of edge. It's something that everyone can type in and obtain from ChatGPT, and it's not based on any scientific or mathematical or methodological information, right? So what's the solution to that, and how is that affecting your life? To give yourself edge, and as you probably know, to make, or maybe you don't know, to make 10x gains, in your investment, obviously you need another 10 people to lose 89% of their portfolio. Yes, so that means that you need more information. You need to be better than 10 other people. You need to have more information, you need to make a better decision, and possibly maybe even have some luck as well. But you just need to work in order to maximize that, and I'm working myself, and that's my journey, and I would like to share this journey with you guys. And if someone is interested, please click the notification button, because I will be going into the details on how we should and how do I process this information and data and how I put it together. And there's going to be more detailed information in my next YouTube videos, so please, you don't need to subscribe, just click the notification. I don't care about subscribers, I just want you guys to see the next video. So what you need to do, you need to have a system that is taking that 18,000 megabyte of data and filtering that to the small size of valuable information based on your metrics that you can analyze using the data transformation and the crypto intelligence tools. Yes, so in this example here we have 18,000 megabytes and we filtered that to 3.6 gigabytes of very valuable data that we can also granulate lower and make decision based on. So that gives you advantage of increasing that small, less than 1 megabyte of the knowledge up to 3.6 gigabyte, which is over 27,000 of X to your brain capacity increase. So you are connecting your brain to the computer or some cloud service, right? It is getting all this big data, it's going into tunnel, into very small, the most valuable information that is going directly to you, and you make your decision based on. So instead of just having that small, less than 1 megabyte, you are actually filtering through all the data, you get 3.6 gigabyte, and then based on that, you make your own decisions, right? So yeah, before you only had 13 megabytes, and after you can make decision based on 3.6 gigabyte, which is very efficient. And when you see here in like a manual reading, yeah, you will have only this efficiency of 0.01%. With that data intelligence and data processing, you get up to 20% of the efficiency. And in theoretical scenario, if you had access to all information, you would be able to, analyze that in like any possible way. That would be 100%. So it's very unreal and it's very like a time and knowledge consuming as well. But you can easily increase from 0.01% to 20%, which is significant. As you can see, increase. It's like over 27,000x increase of your information consumption and extracting the best of the best. And there's also, big saving in time. So 6 hours is a lot of time, yeah? So when you can actually analyze much more data in a shorter period of time, like for example 7.5 minutes in this case, then it's also very beneficial because you save a lot of time and you get more information. So in the steps that you and I do, and maybe you guys will be willing to do or have a look with me on how am I doing that, is to aggregate information, take it from data, raw data, large information in hundreds of gigabytes or even terabytes to the intelligence system based on the database, all the processing frameworks, create like a pattern recognition and combine other type of APIs from like X, from CoinMarketCap, from Go Security, from Nonsense Smart Wallets. In step 2, you would filter that by the most valuable changes over time and all sorts of metrics, flag all the variances, which means changes between one day to another, and find the patterns. And then in step 3, by having all this information filtered, you spend 5 minutes to just deep dive into the top 5, the best tokens, filter it out of thousands of other tokens, right? You track momentum, you set alerts, and you save a lot of time and you get much higher amount of information that you can analyze. So here in this example, I took past 2 days of data and I've processed 15.7 million of records with over 804 gigabytes of data. So now when you compare less than 1 megabyte to 804 gigabytes of data, right? That's significantly better. And we can see here that in the last couple of days, the Dragon token is getting like a huge increase in traction, in engagement. It's 10%. It's on the top. The next two is DOGE and BONK and CAT and Trump. They also have good metrics, but Dragon is like a 10.9% of engagement, which is 376% above average. That's something you could keep attention to, because that could possibly be a very good investment for you. Then we can also take example of holders distribution. CAT is also like top leading here with the highest changes and the highest number of whales and holders increase. Then we have the second one, we have Trump and DOGE and PEPE. So those are like a top 4, including the Dragon. Dragon seems to have lower holders engagement. We take like a different type of metrics and we combine them together to find the best of the best. That's what we are doing. We are finding the best of the bests. And CAT has the highest number of whales accumulating, highest concentration. And here we can present that in like a momentum scorecard, right? You see the social momentum versus on-chain strength. The best bang for buck has CAT and DOGE. Then we have following by Trump, Dragon and PEPE. Those are top tokens that you could pay attention to now based on a couple of last days of the data. We have that all combined in one table now. Still CAT, Trump, Dragon, DOGE. Top 4 tokens to pay attention to. The volume is also high on Trump and CAT. That's the highest volume. So we are connecting the dots here, right? We are taking, so there's the volume, there are holders increase, social increase, and we combine all of that together into the top best choices that we have today. And the action signals are also indicating Dragon, CAT and Trump. We can also connect that into the risk and reward matrix. The key discoveries from that data is that the Dragon anomaly is quite high with the 10% of engagement, 376% above normal, 90 whales quietly accumulating, only 49 total holders. So it's very early phase now. CAT has a dominance of whales, viral consistency, and 150 holders growing steadily. Trump momentum is also strong. 22 influencers are pushing and 1,688 whales positioning. So this is a great example. Please keep an eye on the next videos, because I will have that in detail, and I will also have samples for you of data I will have samples of data for you that you can download and check for yourself. All this information you can directly download it and check, possibly find the best opportunities. Thank you. See you next time.